Sweens, first off, you've had a full week following the Southend result, a really positive one for yourselves, so how have you looked back at that?
Yeah, positive. Found a way to win, which is going to be important this season. Never an easy place to go. Conditions on the day was quite warm. I think we started a bit lethargic, but grew into the game and finished it strongly. So yeah, really happy to get the 3 points, and we've had a good week on the back of it.
Yeah, every game you've had so far this season, you finished really strongly. You've scored quite late on in every game as well. Obviously Charlie around 75th minute it was with his goal. So fitness in your squad is really showing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's important. It's the minimum requirement to be able to compete and have the fitness levels to run for what's effectively now 98 minutes or 99 minutes or whatever the injury time is now. But yeah, it's a positive for us that we're finishing games strong. On the flip side of that, I think we'd all agree we'd like to start a little bit quicker and not give ourselves too much to do at the back end of games. But yeah, pleased with how it's gone.
Yeah, I just want to touch on Alex Lacey as well. He obviously struggled last season with injury, but this year he's had a run of games and he's looked quite strong out there, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's experienced. Tough for him last season, tough for us. There was large parts of the back end of the season where we missed him in that back line. If we'd have had him, maybe it would have been a different story, who knows. But yeah, he's come back in after a long layoff and he's eased his way back in. I think there's still loads more to come from him. I think he'll get stronger, quicker, all that type of stuff. But as far as getting back into the team and the results wise, I think he'll be pretty pleased, and we are.
Yeah, Kieran Wallace coming back in from injury as well, so he'll add to his squad depth, and Josh Umrah, his suspension, is closing in as well. So, in terms of depth, it looks in a nice place now, doesn't it?
Yeah, we've got competition for places. It's going to be difficult for the manager to pick not only the 11 but the squad of 16 as well. There's going to be players that miss out and probably have legitimate gripes about missing out, but it's a squad game now. Like I've said before, it's 46 tough games, so I guarantee the team that starts the first few games won't be the team that finishes it in the back end of the season. So we're going to need all them players fit, ready, and in a good mind space to go and impact it. I think Joe Gray's the perfect example where he's been frustrated in terms of the amount of game time he's had, but he comes on against Southend and majorly impacts the game. Not only his goal, but a close assist for Cookie's chance, and just in general play looked a real threat. So that's what we're going to need from players coming off the bench and players coming into the squad.
Yeah, Fylde on Saturday. What sort of test are you expecting from them?
Another tough test. Be different to what we've had. I suppose from their point of view, a little bit of a mixed bag start of the season. I think they've got 4 points from the 4 games. Like us, have been involved in a couple of high scoring games as well. So hopefully for the neutral, it'll be a good game to watch. But we're confident. I've said before, we're playing at home with our home fans behind us in the run of form we are. We've got to back ourselves to win the majority of the games. It'll be no different tomorrow, but that's by no means an easy task as well. The lads have got to be right at it.
Yeah, and in front of the TV cameras as well, and with that comes the later kick-off. So does anything change in terms of pretty much preparation for the lads, do you think?
No, just everything goes forward a couple of hours, so it might be slightly strange in terms of you are setting your routine about what time you have your pre-matches and stuff like that, and what time you get out of bed and get yourself active and stuff. But yeah, it's not a major issue. I don't anticipate it being much of an issue for either team really. We've just got to look forward to the game. There's the level we play at. Yes, we get a fair bit of exposure on TV, but at the time that we're playing, there's not too many games to watch. So hopefully there's people around the country that'll tune into it, and it's a good opportunity for the players to showcase their talents.
Yeah, and with the game on Monday as well, away to Chesterfield within 48 hours of the Fylde game, has that been a slightly different preparation? 2 games this weekend instead of just 1.
Yeah, it will be. Sunday will now become a day where the players that start the game will have to recover. The players that didn't start the game, they'll need topping up a little bit, just so that if they are to start or be involved in the Chesterfield game, that they're ready. It's a quick turnaround, so I suppose the medical department, the physio department, the masseuses and stuff like that, they need to be active on Sunday, just to make sure that the players that play both games or start both games, they're in as best physical condition as they possibly can be. Chesterfield are in the same boat as we are, so the only difference is we're kicking off a couple of hours later than they will on tomorrow.
Yeah, and obviously you've mentioned the attendances already. Chesterfield will be taking already near enough 1,000 there, and obviously a big following on Saturday as well at home. So how big will that attendance be to these two games?
Brilliant. It's never been in question really. Over the past couple of years, the fan base have probably had a good reason to stay at home, but they haven't. They've still turned up in the numbers, no matter where we've played in the country, no matter what type of form we've been in. Thankfully, we're in, at this moment in time, a little bit of good form. Hopefully that continues for them, because it's not easy logistically to get to all these games. It's not cheap. It's an expensive hobby to go and follow your team around the country. So to take the numbers that we do away from home and at home when they turn up and watch us is credit to them. We've just now got to put on performances where they get value for money, and they want to keep on doing it.
Yeah, and finally, just a fitness update. I think Ollie Finney is in and out of training, and obviously Manny D had a head injury last week. So how are they too?
Yeah, both seem fine. Manny obviously got a laceration to his face. He needed that stitching. Thankfully, there was no major damage to the structure of his bones in his cheek and stuff like that. So he's trained. He looks absolutely fine. Ollie's struggled in terms of just little niggling injuries more than anything else, management injuries, of a little bit of tendinitis. So it's not a case of him being fully injured, if you like. We're just trying to get him in as best physical condition as we can. He's trained as well, so both will be fit for selection. Like I say, the manager's got a bit of a headache on who to choose, but I suppose the lads that have started the last couple of games have made it slightly easier in terms of the form that we're in.